I built Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle out of LEGO. Stay tuned to see how you can build these yourself. I want to try my hand at building the first 3 starter Pokemon, while making sure I can get them small enough to scale with their final evolutions, which I've also built and are linked in my Instagram below. I first started the design with Charmander, which was actually more challenging than I thought, since there weren't a lot of pieces in orange that I could use to capture the look I wanted, and I would have liked it to have a bit more posability as well. If you follow me on Instagram, you may notice that I changed the design of the tail, since when I built this, the weight of the tail would always have it fall backwards, and I wanted it to be able to stand upright on its feet. So I ended up swapping a few of the pieces with a couple of bar and clip plate pieces you see here, so that the tail can angle downwards, and to have it act as a support. And with the clip and bar plate pieces, I gave another point of articulation, and you can angle the tail up and down like this. And then the 1x2 slope piece just helps to cover some of the gaps and provide a smooth transition from the back to the base of the tail. Like the tail, the arms are attached with the clip plate pieces, so you can bend them both up and down. But that's where the articulation ends, since the head and legs are both fixed to the body. The head is just done with studs on the side construction and isn't too complicated, but the legs use this 1x1 headlight brick piece, since it was one of the only snot type pieces small enough to fit in this scale. And because it has that half plate indent, it doesn't sit flush with the sides, so the movement is restricted. And then the rest of the body is just covered with curved slopes and tiles in tan and orange, just to match its design, and to cover as many studded surfaces as possible. Next, I thought to see how I was going to try and tackle Bulbasaur's design into LEGO, since I wasn't sure what color to use that could best represent it. I ended up settling on the sand green color for its body, with the regular green for its bulb, and spots sprinkled throughout. I would have liked to use a lighter shade or one with a more yellowish tint or hue for the body, but thought that the sand green was a close enough match and had a decent part selection to get the building techniques I wanted. Each of the legs are only attached using a single stud, so you can rotate them, but only on one axis, just giving you some options for posability. The head is built with studs on the side construction and is attached onto a half Technic friction pin with a stud on one end, so you can tilt it side to side, giving you some options to maybe give it an inquisitive or a curious look. The bulb is built using different curved slope, and notch pieces in green, and is attached onto some bar and clip plate pieces, which lets it sit at an angle. And then the 1x3 slopes just help to cover some of the gaps, and the bottom is smoothed off with the inverted curved slopes just to help with the shaping and to cover the anti-studded surfaces. Last but not least, for Squirtle, I used a bit of an uncommon color here, which is the bright light blue in LEGO, and was introduced not too long ago. It was most predominant in the LEGO Creator Expert or Icons Vespa 125 set, and the recolor of the Fia 500 set. Despite it being a fairly uncommon recent color, it actually has a surprisingly diverse part selection. I did consider using the medium azure color instead of this, which might have been a closer match to its official design, but the deciding factor for me was how closely I was able to get the look and shaping of its head right. The head is pretty simple and is basically a circle, but to get it to the scale wasn't easy, and I found that the bright light blue edged out the medium azure just by a bit, since it had the parts I needed to capture the look I wanted. In terms of posability, Squirtle is in the middle since it has a bit more than Charmander, but less than Bulbasaur. You can pose its arms, legs, and tail, but its head is fixed onto its body. The arms and legs are just attached using a single stud, so you can rotate them, but only on one axis. And then the range of motion is a bit limited with the legs just due to the front of the shell. And then like Charmander, the tail is attached onto some clip and bar plate pieces to help with stability, and you can pose it up and down like this. For the body, the interior is built just using a few snot bricks and are covered on both sides with curved slope and notch pieces in tan and reddish brown. And then I use these wedge plate pieces with a 45-degree cut just to represent the white border or rim around its shell. And its angle also matches perfectly with those notch pieces as well. So this is how they all look scaled up to my custom trainer figure mock. This is Pokemon Trainer Red, and I tried to base it off of his in-game design. Finally, the total part count for all 3 starter Pokemon is 210 pieces, and at the time of the recording of this video, it can cost around $35 to $45 Canadian. Please keep in mind this does not include shipping or handling, and your final cost may vary. For those of you who stay this long, I've included a link in the description below to both the parts file and PDF instructions for all 3 Pokemon as a bundle, so you can build all 3 together yourself. That's pretty much it for this video. Comment down below which one of these is your favorite build and who your first starter Pokemon was. Also let me know what else you want to see me cover next, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.